Hello. I'm a chameleon, not in a literal sense, but in a way I adapt to the diverse experiences life has presented to me. I was born and raised in Germany to immigrant parents from Turkey. At home, we spoke Turkish, ate delicious Turkish food, watched Turkish movies, while the outside world demanded proficiency in German. Our holidays were not marked by Christmas, but rather Children's Day or Ramadan, celebrations my friends didn't even know about. I chose a path of education, becoming the Turkish teacher, even though I never taught that language. My background in political science and English as a second language equipped me for the challenges ahead. I absolutely thrived in my first years of teaching at a high school teaching high-risk students. I formed bonds that exist to this day, and I even became a role model because most of my students had an immigration background as well. At the young age of 30, in 2012, I made a significant move. I moved across the Atlantic Ocean from Germany to the US to Charlotte to teach the North Carolina curriculum to fourth graders in German at South Academy of International Languages, then Waddell Language Academy. This transition brought about a whirlwind of changes. A huge school building, I got lost more than once, younger students, advanced technology. My classroom had a Promethean board, a document camera. The students had iPads, later on Chromebooks. Assessments. There were so many assessments. And parents. Very, very engaged parents. There were so many changes in this new country, in this new school system, but I'm a chameleon. I adapted. Waddell and Charlotte became home from home, and I was happy. Little did I know that these changes were only the beginning. In 2017, my visitor's visa expired, and I faced the heartbreaking reality at that time of having to return to Germany. CMS was not sponsoring working visas at that time. The educational landscape once more shifted as I found myself in a traditional high school setting. Limited technology and an even more diverse student population. When I say limited technology, I mean a chalkboard and an overhead projector in the classroom and one computer room for the whole school. Ladies and gentlemen, I am left-handed, and my handwriting is not the prettiest. So can you imagine me writing on that chalkboard and all the dust around me? When I say diverse student population, I mean 10 nationalities or more in one classroom. This time, the classes included refugees from Syria, refugees from Afghanistan, refugees from Africa, students with traumatic pasts. My days were shorter again. I didn't have to stay until 3:34 every day. But there were no parents. There were no parents. 5 of my refugee students had fled war zones without their families or any family members. They were between the ages 9 and 13 when they left their countries. They had crossed the Mediterranean Sea and walked thousands of miles to be in Germany, to pursue a better life, maybe to provide for their families at some point. These students had lost family members and had not attended school in years. I was assigned to teach 9th grade math. You have heard correctly, math. I am not a math teacher, but I am a chameleon. I adapt. The topic was algebra. The students had to find the unknown x. One of my refugee students, he raised his hand, and he said with broken German, Frau Yigit, Miss Yigit, you want what? I am barely able to read. I'm a street boy. I played soccer in dusty streets with empty cans. I miss my mom. His dad was not alive anymore. And you want me to find X? He said that with tears in his eyes and desperation all over his face. And here I was, definitely totally overwhelmed, and I'm one of those emotional teachers. So I had to reflect, I had to change. What was I doing? What was I doing? I had to remind myself that relationships came before curriculum and empathy before X. I had to adapt. Yes, I was a teacher, and yes, I was obligated to teach a certain content in a certain grade level. But my relationship to my students and their mental health was so much more important. Me reaching them as humans was so much more important than X. So what did we do? We talked. We talked and we talked. We got to know each other, who we were as individuals, our uniqueness as a human on this planet Earth. We got to know each other. We talked about our values. We decorate values, and I would like to show you, we created this as a project because our common value was tolerance. We decorated our classroom. We decided that our classroom was a place of peace and safety. And the more we talk, the more we trusted each other, and we became a family. I'm also happy to report that that young boy who had a meltdown has graduated with the Mittlere Reife. Mittlere Reife is literally middle maturity and is a school-leaving certificate after grade 10 in Germany. He has learned a trade, and I full-heartedly hope that he has been reunited with his mom. While I was teaching in Germany, I was missing the Carolina weathers. I was missing my diverse friends and colleagues at Waddell very much. And fate allowed me to return to the US 2019. And I was also reunited with my technology, so no more chalkboards, no more chalky hands. I was so happy. But we all know what happened 2020, right? And COVID happened, And I had more technology than I could take, than any one of us could take. 2021, I was asked if I could teach kindergarten. Remember, high school, fourth grade, kindergarten? It came with a lot of joys, and to this day, it brings me a lot of joys, but in the beginning, there were so many challenges. Here I was, I had to teach all core subjects in German, wearing a mask, to 5-year-olds that were wearing masks and who did not speak nor understood German. Who has ever taught kindergarten here? Because you will understand my struggle. You will understand my struggle. All of a sudden, I had to button up pants and tie shoes. Kindergartners still have bathroom accidents. My name was not called every 25 seconds anymore, but every 5 seconds. And I was being called Mom, Mommy, multiple times a day. I had to be present at all times, mentally and physically. In kindergarten, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot assign a project and turn your back to check an email. Please don't do it. I had to develop art and singing skills from scratch. And they're still developing. And I had to deal with kindergarten parents, a very special group of people. Through all these experiences, navigating 2 or more cultures, having limited technology, advanced technology, teaching in different countries, different age groups, different subjects, having low parent involvement, very high parent involvement, no parents. Through all these experiences, I have learned a lot. I have learned to listen. I have learned to stay open-minded and not to be judgmental. I have learned to embrace the change and in an understanding that going with the flow brings happiness. Instead of fighting that change and complaining about the change, because that was so much more draining and exhausting. I have learned that adapting to the change brings happiness, and then that happiness is noticeable in your classroom. I have learned that conflicting beliefs can coexist, that you do not have to pick a side. In German, there's a saying, zwischen 2 Stühlen sitzen, sitting in between 2 chairs. And this phrase is often being used to describe people with an immigration background. One chair being the culture of the country of origin, while the other one, in my case, is the German culture. And people who are sitting in between those 2 chairs, they're torn. They don't know where they belong to. They are indecisive. They're conflicted. I've always disliked that picture. So, what to do? I have refused to pick one chair over the other, one culture over the other. Instead, I built a sofa in my mind. A strong, beautiful, continually evolving sofa. My sofa is big enough to hold everything that makes me who I am. My sofa is strong. Do you know why? It's built with German engineering. My sofa is beautiful. Its fabric is from Turkey with its vibrant colors and motifs. My sofa is changing the longer I am here in the USA. It has got cup holders. When I sit on it now, I eat a beef patty or a curry dish, symbolizing my marriage to a Jamaican American and the diversity it brings to my life. Diversity, let's talk about that. Diversity in all its forms, be it cultural, linguistic, socioeconomic, or cognitive, enriches our private lives, but also the educational experiences for both teachers and students. It fosters an inclusive environment that celebrates the unique strengths and perspectives each person brings to the table. In our pursuit of excellence, let's avoid dwelling excessively in the past. Yes, history provides valuable lessons, but we must recognize that the world is rapidly changing. And embracing the new and embracing the change means staying attuned to emerging technologies, to new teaching methods, to social shifts. It entails a commitment to lifelong learning and a willingness to adapt our teaching to meet our students' needs. My message to you all is very simple. Embrace the change and embrace diversity. It will open new doors. It will provide fresh perspectives. It will allow you to dive in a world of new colors and flavors. It will give you the opportunity to reflect about yourself and your teaching. And please, do not give up any facet of yourself or your past, but rather build your own sofa. When you walk out later today, ask yourself following questions. Am I missing out on experiences because I'm holding on to the past, because I'm scared of stepping out of my comfort zone? Am I sitting on a chair, or am I building my own sofa? Am I fighting or embracing the change? Am I evolving? Thank you.